So you have your brokerage interview coming up and you have no idea what questions to ask. Stay tuned because I got you. What you really first need to figure out is what's important to you and cater some questions around that. I will have more about that though in another video. Today we're going to focus on questions you should be focusing on. Big one is commission splits. I know that's what a lot of people think only matters, but they don't really matter. I know. I don't think they matter because what really matters is what is included in those commission splits. If you're getting 100% and then you also pay for everything, that totally makes sense. But if you're getting 50% and also paying for everything, that might not be the best option for you. But so this is what you should be focusing on. Commission splits, monthly payments, desk fees. Is there an office? What's included in any of those monthly fees? What they're going to pay for, what you have to pay for yourself. That could be things like DocuSign, Authentisign, maybe a website's included, maybe not. Maybe they have any just different tools, right? So you really have to figure out what they're going to pay for within that as well, what your monthly fees look like, if they negotiate any different fees either now or in future, any different options you may have, again, now or in future as well. As much as you want to make the most money now, you also have to want to set yourself up for future use too. So that is super important. Things you want to consider are why other real estate agents come to that brokerage, why they leave. Always good to get that answer because it might be the same, but at least it's good to know if brokerages will be at least honest with you and open and are willing to have that discussion with you as well. You're going to want to find out what their training program is like. Is there a mentorship? What does it look like? How is it involved? Do you pay for it? Are people willingly doing this? Are they looking for a kickback to them? If there's only training at the beginning or if they have training ongoing throughout your career and what that looks like as well. Depending on if it's a small brokerage or big brokerage, if they have multiple franchises, do they have training for everybody or is it just brokerage wide? All those important questions are key. You're going to want to ask questions about leads. Are any included? Do you pay for them back? Which will be important too, again, within the commission split. So if you are taking more money home, maybe you might not be getting many leads from the brokerage. But if you're getting a higher or lowest split, maybe you will be getting some. So again, splits don't matter as long as you're getting benefit at the end of the day. You're going to want to ask if there's any team meetings, whether they're mandatory. And by team, I do mean just brokerage. Whether they're mandatory, voluntary, mix of both. Do they have any outings together? What's the culture like? Do you have to be at office? Do you not have to be at office? Are there virtual options aside from COVID when things are normal? But all these questions, again, are tailored towards you. So for me, I knew I wanted an office because I don't always want to be virtual. So that was important to me. So I also based questions on if there's any specific office fees because that's not something I wanted because I knew I already wanted an office. So I wanted something I didn't have to pay for. Are there any office hours you aren't allowed to come in? I know that might seem like a funny question, but hey, maybe it's 8 p.m. on a Saturday and you really need to get something done and your home isn't good for you. Can you go to the office and do that? Super important question. You're also going to want to figure out if there's any admin staff, what they do for you, and what that kind of role looks like within the office as well. Another important thing is maybe desk and or phone duty. Most brokerages, it's kind of optional, and then you might be able to get leads, or maybe it's just even being available for a certain amount of time, or just even being in the general office for a certain amount of time. So definitely something you want to ask about. When you're on the job, you're going to want to know if there's somebody you can call. This is super important, especially within your first little bit, but then also 6 years down the line, when you're dealing with something you've never dealt before, do you have someone you can always call? Do you have multiple people you can call? What does that look like? Is it a chat? Is there a phone number? Can I actually call you at 10 p.m. on a Saturday? Important questions. Maybe you're going to want to find out too what their goals are. Are they looking to grow? Are they looking to kind of stay the same? Do they want to build a younger audience? Like, what is their goals and how do you align with them? You might also want to figure out what their branding means. Like, do they prefer everyone to be under the brokerage? Can you kind of venture off to your own? Do people help? Does that even matter to them? What does branding mean to them? Something too you might want to look at is the amount of full-time versus part-time realtors. And then also, how many listings do they maybe always have, or how many ends do they do? That will kind of get you to gauge how busy the realtors are at this office. Maybe not as good of a number if they have a lot of part-time realtors, because then they're doing less deals, most likely in a year, than an office full of full-time realtors. So obviously numbers that you have to play around with, but something important to consider. You might also want to ask that if you sell your own home or buy your own property, are you still paying commission to the brokerage? Maybe yes, maybe no. What does that look like? Maybe just a fee. But if that's something that you're thinking of doing, what does that look like? Also, if you're someone who plans to buy multiple properties, is there a limit with that free commission that you get that year that you don't have to pay for that house? Is there limitations with that? Do you have any specific expectations of me now, or maybe even 4 years from now? This might be a better question for smaller brokerages, since they usually don't want to hire, for a general term, hire people that they don't really want to work with or do well with, because they are so small. So they like that tight-knit community, and they want everyone to do well in the brokerage. So they have expectations. And if so, what does that look like? And are they going to help you get there? Something else I also like to ask is, there's a certain way that they wanted people to do lead generation. I've heard different things from different brokerages on this question. So make sure that your goals align with their goals and your questions align with your goals, so you can find a brokerage that aligns with your goals. Kind of getting a trend? To me, the most important thing is making sure you are getting value and you are setting yourself up somewhere that's going to be successful for you. But again, this will be in a second video. This is a very big guideline of kind of questions you want to be thinking about. I have a list of 30 plus questions that I asked all 6 brokerages I visited. I asked them all the same, so I could directly compare A to B, B to C, C to D, D to A, all of that. So what I'm going to say is, if you want this list, just send me a message. I will 100% send you my list of questions. And if you have any questions about my questions, I am here. I want you to set yourself up at the right brokerage, and we will see you for the next video about how to pick the right brokerage for you.